Welcome back, and joining me for a closer look at what's played out on the market scene today is Viv Govender from Rand Swiss Offshore. Thank you so much for your time, Viv. We're seeing quite the rally in the markets, including the US markets, and earlier we had seen quite a nice climb on the JSE above that 90,000 points. Did reverse a significant percentage of those gains, but still trading near the 90,000 points. How are things looking for the JSE right now?
Pretty okay, actually. I think we kind of we had a very bad down day for the US and then a good day today. And so overall, since last week, effectively the market is down about 1/3%, but with 2% plus moves on both yesterday and today for the US. Because we missed yesterday, we basically are effectively up 0.5% and kind of avoided much of that turmoil.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's talk about Trump versus Powell here. A number of central bankers are also contributing to those comments. Even Christine Lagarde saying that she hopes that Trump doesn't fire Powell. Of course, we know that on his Truth social media platform yesterday, he said that he is a major loser and Mr. Too Late. How closely are the markets watching Trump's attack on Jerome Powell and really just that relationship? And I mean, at this point, has Trump not heeded the warning of rattling the markets too much?
Look, I'm not so sure he's as scared of rattling the markets as people believe. I think to a certain extent he kind of strokes his ego, the fact that he's so influential. I mean, I think he'd be quite, upset, quite frankly, if the market was just going and doing nothing and no one was paying attention to every word he was saying. At the moment, whatever he says moves the market, including any tweet he puts out, can cause $1 trillion+ of damage to the U.S. stock market. I think in a perverse way that actually strokes his ego, and quite frankly, I'm not so sure because maybe he's not going to seek re-election. Or fingers crossed, hopefully he's not going to seek re-election. And so there's no real danger to him politically for anything ever happening at the moment.
Well, talking about Trump, and of course we know his tariff influence on a number of sectors, and actually quite interestingly today the South African Reserve Bank came out with its leading business cycle indicator, but really just looking specifically at the decrease that they reported on new vehicle sales. And now there was a story that I read, a news story about the automakers in South Africa saying that they expect the tariffs to hit from July. Are things not looking good for that industry at this point?
Yes, and also remember we are also seeing a massive influx of competition to this sector as well. If you're looking for cars at the moment and you go and see the deals offered by some of these Chinese car makers out there, they are absolutely incredible. And we're not talking about cheap compared to like the BMWs, but cheap compared to what were traditionally the cheaper models out there. You know what I mean? So and packed with features that you wouldn't see for almost twice the price. And that's something I think that we are seeing globally as well. I mean, I've seen many market commentators say that some of the traditional brands of like Europe, for instance, some of the big like German brands, French brands, and so on, may be under threat going forward by just the incredible manufacturing capacity that's coming out of China at the moment. And I don't know how our car industry will be able to handle that without protection of some kind.
Yeah. Well, Viv, let's go to the war of diabetes, obesity, weight loss drugs. That continues. And today, Eli Lilly is winning while Novo Nordisk is caught on the back foot. Just wondering about this move, and really, well, I know that results for a trial that Eli Lilly did came out. Just talk to me about that milestone that they reached, but also why it was at Novo Nordisk's expense.
Yeah, look, I mean, Novo Nordisk has had a almost monopoly initially with the Ozempic, which was their drug. Which basically, for anyone that follows any kind of celebrity news and has seen, previously chubby celebrities suddenly looking very stout and thin, you can name a bunch of people that were looking like they're packing on the pounds to now look incredibly skinny, perhaps too skinny in some cases. No, the name was Ozempic. It's a diabetes drug, but it also effectively depresses appetite and therefore has been used by many people for weight loss. Then Eli Lilly came out with his own version of these drugs. These are what's called GLP-1 antagonists. Yeah. They come, strange enough, for those that don't know, from what's called a Gila monster. It's a kind of lizard. It's a poison of a kind of lizard that happens to depress your appetite, and it's been taken the world by storm. And the thing is that the diet remains a huge issue for people. And so if you can somehow stop people from eating too much, not only do you fix things like diabetes, but heart disease, liver disease, a whole bunch of different, positive indicators out there. And so you've been finding that these drugs have been tested for people with like a number of different issues beyond just the initial diabetes issues, and has found huge, benefits for them. Like I said, people generally are just eating too much nowadays, or not eating the right things. And these drugs just restrict the amount you eat, and that alone apparently results in cures or treatments for a number of different diseases, including, like I said, weight loss. Now they're coming out with a pill. Apparently, this pill is a daily pill, and of course, a daily pill is always nicer than an injection that you have to take anyways once a week.
Yeah.
And I think that is also something that's going to be much more widely taken up. Many people don't want to poke themselves, but they'll be happy to take a pill once a week, especially if it lowers the chance of diabetes and heart disease and kidney disease and liver disease dramatically.
Yeah. All right. Well, Viv, before we get to your stock pick, just to alert our viewers, actually, that there was a sense that came out at market close from Aspen talking about risks that could affect the manufacturing performance. Apparently, there's a material contractual dispute that if indeed it is scrapped from the operations, the EBITDA for the manufacturing business could be 2 billion rand lower. Of course, there is a presentation that I think they are, that will be on, that they will be hosting in the morning at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So, of course, we'll be discussing that in detail tomorrow. But, Viv, your stock pick for today?
It's gold. I think in a world like we're dealing with right now, and you see the gold price rally up, it breached $3,500 an ounce before coming back down again with this news around Trump. In a world where we are, there's very little certainty out there, I think gold is going to do really well. And not just the fact that retail investors are getting into it. What's been happening with regards to Trump has made many of the institutional, the central banks out there reluctant to hold dollars. And so the Chinese are selling dollars at the moment, but what are they going to be buying? What are they going to be replacing that with? It could with euros, but likely it's going to be gold.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your insights there, Viv. Much appreciated. That was Viv Govender from Rand Swiss.